I mean, he gives you a chance to win every night. So I think it's a great core here, and you know, I think the series could have gone either way there with no, I mean a couple more bounces there, but it's a great group here, and it's got great leadership, and it's fun to be a part of it.
Go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
For Nate, please, how would you describe your approach to free agency, and what do you see as the strengths of this core group moving forward?
My approach to free agency is, I guess, it's the same as been every last few years. Is I want to keep playing. I still feel like I have a lot of hockey left in me, and whether it's here or somewhere else, like I said, I still feel like I can still play. And then this group, like Louis is saying, I think, I believe in this group. I don't think it's very far off. I think we're right there. You have a core group of guys, a great core group of guys here. And like Louis said, you have Bucky back there. And I truly do think the window is still there to win. And, I think this team definitely has what it takes.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Following up on that with you, Nate, Andrew Kopp was saying the team maybe needs to become harder to play against. Do you agree? And what does that look like? What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. You always want to be, as a team, moving forward. I think being hard to play against can go, it doesn't necessarily mean being big and physical and tough. I think it can mean a lot of different things. I think you got to give credit to Montreal. I mean, they were extremely hard to play against because there wasn't a lot of room on the ice, and it wasn't like they were running us through the wall, but they were, on top of us all the time. And, I think for us, having that consistency of, especially the way we played against Edmonton, I think, we were hard to play against. There was no free ice out there. And, I think, you look at championship teams, and sometimes it can take some time. Sometimes it can take losses in the playoff round, especially like we did for teams to get better and move forward. And I think there's a group here that knows that and realizes that and knows what it takes. And we have a good mix of veteran guys and young guys, and some good young guys that are, getting older and a little bit more mature, and knows now that, you only get so many chances to play in the playoffs, and you have to take advantage of it when you can. And so I think for the team moving forward, I think, like I said, we're right there, and this team can definitely win.
We'll go next to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. This one's for Nate as well. In Winnipeg, even before your time, we've seen a few, mid-30s veterans who were renowned for being great humans, Matt Hendricks, Mark Letestu, and yourself. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, what is the role of that player and the value that you bring? You're not 25 necessarily, but you've learned a lot in regard at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where, you know what to expect coming in. You know what to expect with your role. And, it's just all about being a good pro and a good teammate. And, I think we had a good amount of young guys too. So you want to help out the young guys. You want to make sure that, you're doing all the right things, not necessarily having to say all the right things, but I think leading by example. And, those are things I try to pride myself on in my career, is just, I kind of have when I look back in my career, I just want to be known as a good pro and a good teammate. And, I think those things can go a long way for a team, and hopefully help the next young guy that, looks at Trevor Lewis and sees the way he goes about, every day he comes to the rink, and, he does the same thing and passes it on. And, those are the things you want to, hopefully, pass on the other young guys in the organization to just make the team better.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, guys. This is for Trevor, and sort of picking up what Nate was just talking about there with the young guys. Trevor, you had a close-up view of a lot of these young guys, whether it was Jansen or Christian. There's guys like Billy, obviously, in the system, and then others like Cole Perfetti, Dylan Sandberg. I just wonder what your take is on, I guess, the state of the next crop of Winnipeg Jets, and you believe this team is in good hands with what's going to be coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Me and Tomer obviously got to play with Parks and Vess a lot this year, and really, really good players. I mean, it's kind of a tough year with the taxi squad and all that, and probably not as many games as everyone wanted to play. But I mean, I just from practices and playing with those guys at the time we got, they're great players, and they got a good head on their shoulders too. So I think the youth in this organization is really good, and excited to see them come up through there.
We'll go back to Jason Bell from the Free Press. Go ahead, Jason.
Thanks. This one's for Nate. Nate, Paul Maurice has got a long tenure in this organization. You just played for them the one season, but just can you maybe touch on the relationship you had with Paul and how the message that he was giving to the group, and you still think that even with the guys he's been around with a long time, that message was still being received?
Oh yeah, I mean, for me, as soon as I got here, there's an open line of communication between him and I right away. I knew what to expect. I have a great relationship with Paul, and it started right from the beginning, and I think every guy on the team would say the same thing. I mean, he has a true belief in our team, and he did from the start. He made that clear right away. Day one of training camp, and even through the good times, and even when we were struggling, he still had that belief in us, and I think every guy knows that, and I think that's why you'll see. I think you're going to see a good response from this group next year, and I don't know if I'm going to be here or not, but I can tell you that just from the way Paul sends his message to the guys and letting guys know what to expect from him. I think that he's done a great job, and there's a reason why he's been here so long.
And final question to Kelly Moore from 680 CGOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thank you, Gregor. This one is for Trevor. Trevor, when you look back on this season, whether it's 5 or 10 years from now, or maybe even next year and you're talking to young guys, what will you remember about this year, and what will be the things that you talk about going through this year, because you've got a lot of experiences before this season, and I can imagine that it was just as challenging for you as it would have been for any player. Yeah,
I mean, it was definitely a different year. I think, for me, my family didn't get to be here as much as I would have liked them to be, just with all the quarantines and all that. But looking back, it was my first year in a different organization than LA too. So it was definitely a different year. We didn't get to do a whole lot, but didn't get to see a whole lot either. So